This is the Seahawkers podcast. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and today we are live streaming for day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft, and I am joined by my good buddy Adam Emmert, as well as a special guest. You may know him as Josh DeHuman from the Discord. Here he is. Josh, welcome.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here. Finally.
I know we've been talking about it, especially leading up to draft, because I know you do your own mock drafts that especially you like to put out on the Discord to share. And with it being day 2 and kicking things off, we thought, hey, Josh knows some of these guys that we're going to be talking about. So let's bring them on and
see.
We can hang out and watch the draft together.
There we go.
Heck yeah. Everybody was so generous yesterday with the live chats and all that. Like, we're back here today. And since we're back here today, that's why we have Josh, because I'm a useful idiot when it comes to about this part of the draft down. And Brandon's like 3 steps above that. So that's why Josh is here, man. Appreciate it. It's going to make things a lot better. How did you feel after day 1?
I was surprised initially, but then as you read more into the guys they picked, it could not really have been better. Because the thing of it is like you get Witherspoon, and he's almost like that old school Brandon Browner type of guy. You know, he's like a Brandon Browner, Cam Chancellor mix in the sense where like he's not afraid to get down, get rugged, and is like start slamming people down, but he can also just get those interceptions and run. So he's the perfect like Pete Carroll type of corner. He's not exactly as tall, or doesn't necessarily have like the arm span of like a Pete Carroll prototype, but like mentally and personality wise, you cannot ask for like a better corner for him. And then you get that that wide receiver, man. He's gonna be the perfect complement to Lockett and DK. I'm wearing my DK jersey right now. But you get that slot guy there, and he's just gonna help out. If anything, he might actually start drawing attention, which will make it easier for like DK and Lockett to get catches. But then teams are going to be like, oh no, now we got to cover DK and Lockett, leaving him open to catch those balls and go, which is just going to give Geno like weapons, man. He already has Kenneth Walker the third. He's got K9 there. He's got Noah Fant and the rest of the tight end group there, and he likes to distribute 2 tight ends. And now he has 3 great weapons at wide receiver. That just opens up the playbook. And Pete Carroll is just going to be like, all right, let's have fun. Go ahead, Geno. Just have fun. Figure out which guy you want to throw to. You have options.
Pete and John, they were fired up too after the draft last night. They were fired up for the introductory press conference with JSN and Witherspoon, and we got to see the numbers that they're going to be wearing.
11.
JSN,
everyone retire your Percy Harvin 11 jerseys and just get your JSN ones now.
Yeah, Devin Bush, he wore number 11 for all but how many ever days of practice that he might have come into the building for. I guess long enough to maybe have a couple 11 jerseys, but JSN going to be taking that number, and 21 for Devin Witherspoon. He wore 31 in college, but
you know what?
And we found out it didn't have anything to do with Cam. It's just that's the number he wore in college.
Right. There you go. Everyone has their numbers, like I'm trying to remember the quarterback who he changed his quarterback number when he moved teams because the other one wasn't available. So he went to his high school number. I can't remember which quarterback it was, but like everyone has those numbers where they're like, this has meaning of some sort. So, if one is not available, I'll find another number that has meaning to me and I'll wear that one.
Our Ryan 911 D Eskridge trade for another second incoming.
Who's going to give a second for D Eskridge? You'd be lucky to get a 6th.
Maybe if we trade a second and D Eskridge, we could get a higher second.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I bet we trade down in the second round, though. I bet we go from 37 to early to mid 40s.
So saying,
ooh, see, I was thinking it would be their second rounder that they trade down with.
Because I think they can get more value for that 37. There's still plenty of guys on the board that, if they just went down 5 slots, there's still plenty of options out there. Like by that point, I'm sure you'd still have at least 2 or 3 of the interior linemen, plenty of the linebackers, and there's a good amount of other guys that they can still have, like they can still build up that, as Nino said, that get the 1,000 pounds of this manpower today. He wants that D line, O line built up. So it's like, well, you can still get plenty of that, there at 42, 43, as well as, what was it, 57 is our second pick today. You can still get plenty of those guys there.
Stu Lowe, you want to take this question here, Adam?
Sure. He didn't play a lot outside in college. Now, does that mean that he absolutely can't play outside? Hard telling, not knowing. Nobody really knows. This was the pick that perplexed me the most. After watching John's reaction in the war room, listening to them in the post-game presser, I got the sense this wasn't plan A. This wasn't plan B. This was like plan D at 20. I think they really, really wanted to trade down and try to beef up, the interior with the extra picks that they may have accumulated there. Without being able to find a trade partner, then they had to settle for a guy that fits a need, but on the hierarchy of lists of needs, I mean, it's got to be what? The 4th from the bottom? I mean, I just didn't see this wide receiver 3 thing as this pressing need, a lot like this whole quarterback of the future notion that people are still pressing for today. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was like as much a need, but I like what Pete and John have been doing. At least they did it last year, and it looks like they're doing it this year. They're picking the best available player that's on their board when the pick comes in, if they can't get a trade deal that they want. So if for them, GSN was that guy there, at that pick, awesome. He doesn't fill a number 1 need, but he fills a need, and he is a very talented guy that, should Lockett retire here in the next couple of years, he could be learning from Lockett for the next few years, kind of get up to speed with how Lockett does things and be our next Lockett.
I just don't understand the thing that people have as the slot receiver. Like there always seems to be this stigma of like, oh, he's the slot. The slot receiver is an important position in the NFL these days. I don't understand why you don't want to just dominate there when you dominated in college. And good luck beating out Tyler or DK on the outside. It just ain't happening, bro. So he's going to have to play the slot. And the thing about the other aspect of this pick that I didn't quite realize until, I started looking into it after the pick was made, I didn't realize how severe this hamstring thing was. I mean, he got hurt in the first game, toughed it out, made a whole 5 catches all season, and then wasn't going to run at his pro day because he was still worried about the hamstring. That's a little terrifying when you start getting into those soft tissue injuries that take forever to heal. I have visions of Penny and Eskridge and Procise like running through my head when I hear things like that. This one's a bit of a head scratcher to me. If he's everything that he can be, fantastic. But boy, I don't know, man.
Well, and that's, I think, why I had Zay Flowers as the number 1 guy that I wanted at receiver, because he didn't have some of those injury concerns. But I could see why Jackson Smith-Njigba was so high for everybody else, because if you go back and you look at that 2021 season, in particular, if you go back and look at the Rose Bowl, I mean, just everything thrown his way is caught. And so I think he probably has the best hands of the guys in the draft class. And when it comes to receiver, that's what you want. And when you talk about best hands too, he's catching balls in traffic in the middle of the field, which is also pretty impressive when you're trying to catch it in traffic. So I was impressed when I went back and watched some, and I think it doesn't have to be in the slot, and if they want to move Tyler around or move DK around a bit and listening to the press conference.
Yeah, let's move the all pro vets around for the rookie.
If you want,
that.
they don't have to line up in the same exact spot every single play.
Oh, I know. I'm just giving you crap.
Well,
I'm not talking about taking over their job or anything.
Yeah, no, and not only that, he's the wide receiver 3. So like should his hamstring like come up again, like they pretty much use a lot of our tight ends almost like in a slot type of role, and we're a run first offense anyways. So like we're not gonna have to like rely heavily on him. Like there are lots of options there. So, high pick, yeah, first round for a guy like that, like it could be a little high, but at the same time, that potential, that ceiling is so up there that it's they're rolling the dice on that. And you know what? He does have the best hands out of the wide receivers in this class. Should he get healthy? And we're in Seattle. Some of the best medical people around are around here. He can get that thing healed. If he can get that thing healed up and ready to go, perfect.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Coming in, do you think they didn't pick Carter because of character or because they preferred Spoon? And if you listen to Pete Carroll's press conference, you definitely got the sense that they preferred Devin Witherspoon, because he talked about bringing him into the building and, really wanting to break down film with him and why he made choices that he did. And a lot of, looking at some of his big plays in college. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what, just knowing from some of what we've heard from Pete in the past and hearing what he had to say in the pressers, he's looking for guys that are willing to take calculated risks based on, intuition. And when he finds guys that can do that sort of thing more uniquely than other players, then it's something that he gets really excited about. And I think it's a big reason why they brought in Jamal Adams, because he thought he could be that guy, and he probably still could be if not for all the injuries. But he saw something. I mean, he brought up Troy Polamalu's name and talking about the type of instincts that Troy Polamalu had at USC when he coached him, mm-hmm. and seeing some of those similar instincts in Devin Witherspoon. So I think character could have been a part of it. We're not going to know, but I think judging from
we know.
Pete,
we know. No, we know 100%. This isn't even hard to suss out. Jalen Carter was the best player on the board, period, without question. It's something that everybody and their dog agrees on. He's the number one talent at the number one need when he was available at your pick at 5 and you passed. There can be only one reason as to why you passed. It's because the character part was too much of a concern. And now, does that mean that it's mutually exclusive, that they passed because of character and that they preferred Witherspoon? Not really. You could have brought them both into the building and been like, I like Witherspoon's makeup more. And that still kind of fits into that character aspect as well. This is all about character. I don't think you can make a case otherwise.
Oh, I'm not saying it didn't play anything into it. I got the sense from Pete that he really liked what he heard and saw from Witherspoon.
Yeah, I would think Witherspoon is probably personality-wise, probably more so the type of personality that Pete looks for in players. Talent-wise, Jalen Carter, like you said, he's the number one talent, period. Like, if you just look at raw film, look how he plays on the field in games, he is the number one talent in this draft, hands down. Will he remain that once he gets into the NFL? We'll see. We don't know. But Witherspoon, he could not have landed in a better spot than with a former defensive back himself, Pete Carroll, as the head coach, and who's created the Legion and Boo. He could not have landed in a better spot. And, is our bigger need the front 7? For sure. But did we potentially get the best player that fits our system the best? I say so.
I don't think there was a better D tackle, like in terms of the ranking of the D tackles. I don't think there was a D tackle that was ranked higher that was available short of Carter, which has his own problems, and that dropped his rank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then there was Witherspoon at corner at that point. With Anderson off the board, I think it was at that point that the Seahawks were like, all right, we're going corner here. It does make some sense, and I don't mind the idea of picking the best player available. I mean, one of the things in one of the videos I put out leading up to this was we got to hit on 3 or 4 of these, 3 out of 4. And Witherspoon seems like a lock to be a hit for at least a couple years, unless his body just totally goes away for him. The JSN pick, it's a little more 50-50. I don't hate it at all. I mean, the guy's talented and everything. It was just a little perplexing, especially when shortly after that little run on receivers, all the, kind of second ledge of defenders in the trenches all seem to kind of come off the board. I don't know. Are there guys still available here at 37?
Oh, yeah, there's still
40?
guys available, but talking about some of those names that came off at the end of the first round, Mozzie Smith was a name that we threw around. Miles Murphy goes at edge to the Bengals. Brian Brzee, another name we threw out there, going to the Saints. Nolan Smith falls all the way to the Eagles, and I felt like Nolan Smith was a guy that was talked about as potential for the Eagles toward the top of the draft. Uzoma goes to the Chiefs, and so definitely a lot of guys at edge. I guess the interior guys: Mozzie Smith, Brian Brzee.
Yeah, we still got Keanu Benton out there, and who I think would be real great to add to our defensive tackle group there. If he's available there at year 37 or later on, I think that would be a great pick for us to get. Or, as in our Discord group says, if we can get Ika just based off his name, like that would be.
I love that dude.
Yeah, it's a great name. Like it's a fun one.
And they call it what? Appa Ika? Like okay, yeah, I'm 100% in. And look, there is certain types of folks who seem to play really well at certain positions. Give me a Polynesian playing in the interior of your defense. Like they're built a certain way, they're wired a certain way, and they're awesome at it. Like they're just awesome. Like IK all day, or Ika, Ika all day.
358 pounds, 6'4". That's a big dude.
All right, who did the Steelers go with there with their first?
Porter.
Oh, okay.
Joey Porter, and the Titans just traded up, so Titans are on the board right now. So that'll be interesting.
They took the Cardinals pick, huh?
Yeah,
Levis is going right here.
Right.
We're gonna start that now.
I did hear today that there's some talks that people are actually putting more value in Hendon Hooker than they are Will Levis, because the whole Will Levis, like how he's been like during this whole like draft prospect period, it's been like a turnoff for some of the coaches and some of the GMs. So there's a chance that Hendon Hooker might be taken before Will Levis, and Will Levis may drop further down in the second round.
Do you think he gets taken at 37? Vith was wondering here.
Oh, the Seahawks. I mean, maybe they say that Hooker's injury should be healed up by the beginning of the season. However, if he's available there and there's someone that wants him there at 37, Seahawks trade down. I don't think the Seahawks I think they're all in on Geno. Next year and the year after is like quarterback classes are better. Like I think USC's quarterback is coming out next year, and he's like heads and above better than the quarterbacks from this draft. And so if the Seahawks want to get a quarterback in the future, they can wait a few years. Geno took them to the playoffs, and he earned that starter spot. So if someone wants Hooker, who played in a very quarterback-friendly offense, like cookie cutter offense, get a couple more picks. Get some more second and third round and fourth round picks. Go trade down. Let whoever wants Hendon Hooker go up there at 37 and take him.
What do you think, Brandon? Do you think that Schneider and Pete put a big emphasis on this quarterback of the future thing, that if they didn't do it early in the first round, why in the world do you think that this is going to be a priority going forward? I don't know.
I don't know about a priority. I just think that once you get with the way that they've shown their approach to this draft, with it being, if it's a guy who fits as a Seahawk and is the top guy on their board, that they're taking him, then if he fits into that criteria, I could see it.
Yeah.
It does look like the Titans have traded up with the Cardinals.
And the pick is in.
Yeah, I think the pick is in, and I think you might be right for once, Adam. Leo coming in with the $22 saying, thanks for being here again tonight, guys. You rock. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks, man. Leo, we appreciate you as always, man. You're one of the star little flockers. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, let's say I am right about Levis here. I mean, shoot, it's just the clock's right twice a day, a broken one, right? So
it kind of feels like a very Titans-y pick, even if you go back to like Jake Locker going to the Titans back in the day, right?
True.
Doesn't Levis kind of feel like a Jake Locker type quarterback?
Oh yeah, he does. And if Twitter's right, Adam's right. It's Will Levis there. Bob Condotti even said
it's even confirmed on NFL.com right now. So yeah, Will Levis going to the Titans.
Okay. Well, another bust.
But we'll see. You know, like he has the smarts, but does he have the actual will?
He's got the book smarts.
He's got the book smarts, and like he can. I think he has a decent enough arm, but does he actually have like he showed off like his 6-pack and tried to be like that high school cool jock guy showing off his 6-packs. He's like, hey, look, I have the the will to like go into the weight room and get all jacked and stuff. Like that's cool. Do you have that with film? Do you have that in training camp? Do you have that in practice? Like if you don't have it with that, I don't care if you have a 6, 8, 12 pack. Do you have the humility to know like you don't know everything? Let me sit down here and watch hours of film, learn the opposing defenses, and do you have the will to like not have your players go through your manager to talk to you, your fellow compatriots, your teammates, like to actually just take them out to dinner one day, buy them all 70-inch TVs for Christmas, that type of camaraderie. Play, I guess, Call of Duty, with your teammates too. Do you have that side? I'm not sure Will Levis does.
I don't know, man. I've seen the rocked up QB too many times in my life, and they are never the ones that are uber successful. Think about it. Like Tom Brady, did he get rocked up when he finally decided to get in shape right after he got drafted and everything? No, he went the other direction. He talks all about pliability and length and stretching everything out so that you can take the hits. It's not so much about having mass to take the hits. No. It's about having the bendiness to take the hits. And then on top of that, the quarterbacks, the greatest quarterbacks, when you go back and look, they're all very fluid guys. They're not the robo QB. I don't get it with Levis. I think Hooker's 3 times the prospect, and I don't care about the age, and I don't care about the knee, and I don't care about that weird ass offense that they ran either. Like he's just better.
Amy saying, why move up further for Levis? The Titans were at pick number 41, and just looking at the teams ahead of them, it would have been the Saints at 40, the Panthers at 39, the Raiders at 38, Seahawks at 37. Rams at 36. That could have been an intriguing spot to maybe want to leapfrog the Rams with. I could see them taking a guy like
Rams or Raiders, one of those two. I would think it would be one of those two that would have potentially taken him. But now,
because not the Panthers, obviously, not the Saints with Carr. So it would have had to been Raiders, Rams, Colts, who are on the clock now. Roger walking out with the Lions selection, and it is Sam Laporta, tight end from Iowa.
And that's with Mayer still on the board?
And there was another tight end that went toward the end of the first round too. So the tight end that Phil wanted still hanging on in there. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid went to the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I like that Notre Dame tight end. Why am I just blanking on his name right now? Because I think that's the one that Phil wanted, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's Mayer, right? Yeah,
Mayer. Yeah, no, he's good because he has a bit of, he's almost like that balanced type of tight end where he can block and he can catch. So and that's what Pete really likes. Pete likes those tight ends that can do both. Because if you're a tight end that can't do both, like worst trade ever for Seahawks, getting Jimmy Graham, who just sucked at blocking, and he, as my stepdad would say, Jimmy, I can't go more than 1 yard after the catch because it seems like as soon as you get the catch, he just got knocked down. Like, it just.
Yeah, this Laporta guy, this was fun. Like, they're showing his highlights, and I always love the highlight of the dude who catches the ball, and then there isn't a guy that touches him for 45 yards.
Right.
And then he bowls over the last tackler for the touchdown. Like, what a highlight. Oh, my stars. Like, he ran in a straight line.
Are you watching the ESPN highlights or the NFL? Because the NFL.com highlight was very and see, I'm going to make the George Kittle the comparison because that's another Iowa tight end.
Yeah.
Probably like Cansey gets the comparison to now I'm blanking on his name.
Donald.
Dude for the Rams. Donald. Yeah. So he was bowling over some dudes.
Okay. Well, no, that's cool. I just always those highlights always crack me up when people get, regardless of position.
The highlight where they catch it in wide open field and walk into the end zone, or the pass rusher that just comes off the edge unblocked and lights up the quarterback. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, congratulations on not being touched and be able to get to the quarterback really fast.
You got real lucky with that scheme that the opposing team set up.
They forgot to account for you and you got a sack. Well done.
Yeah,
you should. I like those ones where like they bulldoze over guys, or just show me their beast mode, like Beast Quake 1.0 type of highlights there, where they just run over 13 guys.
Yeah,
like show me those ones because that shows how they are.
So Indianapolis trading back with the Raiders. Their pick coming in, the Rams on the clock now. These ones moving by a little bit quicker. I think they have 7 minutes to pick in the second round and then 5 minutes in the third. So,
well, I appreciate the teams not wasting our time so much here in the second and third round. That's nice.
Yeah.
A little urgency is great.
Oh, yeah.
And I may not go off of the NFL.com streaming or the TV and just go off of the stream of picks on NFL.com. They're kind of coming in about the same time, so I don't.
Yeah,
think
it seems as if the ESPN stream is about the same too. So
yeah.
Jacob Haas saying, "Watch us pick a long snapper." Hey, we need one.
We do.
Yeah. Long snappers matter too. Yeah,
they do.
I think I'd rather see them take an actual center.
Yeah,
off the board,
but that will be interesting to see which one of like the top 3 centers, if they do go center.
If they do take one, again, when we're talking about the needs, is center as much of a need? Is in your mind, Adam, is wide receiver 3 a bigger need than center?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's easy for me. You didn't have a wide receiver 3. You have a legit center for this year.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, I'm guaranteeing this. I'm pretty sure this will be true. There'll be other centers next year as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And you'll have a shot at them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be interesting. I think quite a few. Oh, checking in, Josh. Oh, what's up?
That's from Clinton.
From Clinton, checking in from the air.
What's up, Clinton? Yeah.
Hey, if you got internet, Clinton, why don't you come on the show from the air?
They will not let you. They won't let you do that on the airline Wi-Fi. That
is true.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see if they do, because there's actually quite a few of these centers or offensive linemen that can play multiple positions. And Everett Brown, who we got, can play both guard and center. So if they want to take a guy like I think his name is Steve Avila, who can play both center and guard.
Yeah.
Cody Mock, who can play literally tackle, guard, and center. Jarrett Patterson from Notre Dame, who primarily played center in college, but he can play guard as well. And then Alex Forsyth from Oregon, who can do both as well, who has that knowledgeable center guard. You get a guy like that, plug him, and you just have a competition this summer to see like who do you want, who would be better at center and who would be better at guard, Evan Brown or this rookie that you picked up. Who's gonna be better at which position? Plug them into where they're better at in your scheme on the O line. You're solid because Evan Brown's not too old. He can still be around for a good while. So you could have your offensive line for the next 5 years easily, picking up whichever offensive lineman you want.
Michael Mayer off the board. Phil.
Oh man.
Somewhere at a soccer game, Phil is sad. Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
All right, the Rams with one of the picks that they didn't F. So here it is.
Jeez.
This is a spot where I could see someone looking to trade with the Rams to come up and get Hooker if they want a quarterback and they think that there's the potential that the Seahawks could want him. And the Rams could use extra picks.
They could use that's an understatement. Yeah.
They're rebuilding now.
I don't know. I just hope whatever pick is next is just a bad pick. And I hope the kid has a wonderful life who gets picked, but I hope he stinks for the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah, just be better. Be better. Like move on from the Rams here in like 3 or 4 years and go to a team and just that's not in the NFC West and just rock. You're just in a bad system for you.
Or just be happy living in LA and making an NFL paycheck. And yeah.
I mean, wait, I thought I heard you say LA instead of LA.
Sorry, I forgot the emphasis on that.
I grew up down there in my childhood
really.
Yeah, I lived in a smaller beach town called Steel Beach there in California but I lived down there till I was about 12 years old, and yeah, I knew like every stereotype for like a Valley girl and things like that. It's true. I lived it. I saw it there in the 90s and early 2000s. It was, and I went back there about 5 years ago. Nothing's changed. It's the same type of people in their Lambos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are cool people that live in LA, like Rebecca.
There are.
Our executive
I have
producer.
some friends. I have some friends and family that are cool down there, but yeah, no, it's just not for me. I like my
Sam's down there.
Yeah.
I just like make fun of LA, not our little flockers. But
no,
I'm with Ryan. I think I missed the meeting where Evan Brown, who was a good center 2 years ago, is apparently a terrible center.
No, he's not a terrible center. He is a upper level center and guard. It's just which position does he and John think that he's going to be on the team?
They said it in the presser. They view him as a center.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, and he can be versatile if they happen to find someone who might be a little bit better. So yeah,
is John Jacob Schmidt still available?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Top center still. Well, the top center according to whether it's Tippmann or, Schmidt.
Osiris.
Sam checking in from LA. I'm cool.
Yeah, Sam, you are cool. You're
confirmed.
Cool.
Yes.
Confirmed. Yes.
Shade Turner, check it in. Morning, gentlemen. Let's get Benton.
Watch him go linebacker.
Clinton would be happy. He would be happy. He's been on that Benton train. He wants him back.
Go linebacker.
Oh yeah. We got some good ones. We got some good ones there.
But we went wide receiver at 20. Like, can we just pick somebody in the trenches like early-ish, please?
Oh yeah.
Like a good
one. What won them? Whether it's
the thing is
or OL.
There isn't a true guard out of college that's been taken yet, or a true center. So both, if they want to continue going with the top player at each position, they got corner, they got wide receiver, and depending on who the Rams pick, well, either one of those.
Steve Avila. The Rams just picked Steve Avila, the guard.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Top guard off the board.
But Osiris
Osiris Torrance is still out there, and
he would be great. Put him as the guard right next to Evan Brown, and you have Lewis on the other side, and then you have our two young gun tackles there. We're good. that O line is solid for Geno. Geno's gonna be upright a lot more than Russell Wilson will potentially be this upcoming year.
Well, the other guy is still on the board too that made a visit to Seattle was the Ohio State tackle, Juwan Jones.
Oh yeah, I'm still in love with him. Yeah.
Move him into guard. Yeah,
yes, please. Oh,
good.
Yeah, road grader Evan Brown, road grader Juwan Jones, and road grader Abe Lucas. Yeah, that starts to feel a little like Hutch and Jones and like that sort of thing. Hell yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be fun. I like
they weren't screwing around.
I just like Cody Mock just because Cody Mock he almost looks like he's a hockey player playing football. Like he has those missing teeth. He has like that rough guy, like rough dog about him type of personality. And oh geez.
Okay.
I think I would, if I were to take, I think Cody Mock would be the guy I would take just because based off what I heard from just leading up to the draft. Jim Nagy was a big Cody Mock guy.
Okay.
And he scouted for the Seahawks. So I think I would
Hawks trade. Falcons on Hawk.
No, it says pick is in.
Oh, I thought I saw that
no, pick is
they pass on Hidden Hooker. Oh, they go edge. But it doesn't say who on my end. But the Falcons
Derek
are on
Hall out of Auburn.
Oh.
I don't know a thing about Derek Hall.
I don't know much about him. Yeah, that was not he was not.
There's the weird reach that we've been looking for, right?
There's the weird reach.
He was a guy who was projected to go in round 2. Lance Zierlein had Carl Lawson as a comp for Derek Hall. I like that as a potential comp. Let's see.
He's
terms
big.
Of measurables.
He's a big dude.
He's average sized for DN.
Yeah,
that 250 mark.
But I mean, I didn't really see, based off of like what we've done this off season. I haven't really seen edge as like one of our bigger needs. We definitely need more people on the DL, but like maybe if we get like an edge guy that can also go in and play defensive tackle, can he do that? Because if so, then that would work based off of
what was Michael Bennett's playing weight?
He was around 280.
Yeah.
275. Yeah,
about 270.
Clinton likes everybody. Yeah. He wanted Mayer. He's like, oh, the Raiders took 2 of the dudes and all that stuff. Yeah, now he likes this dude too. Okay.
I like this dude. I mean, if it works, we'll see. Because I mean, we have some good defensive ends and edges now that with this off season, and some guys are back up and getting healthy again. And Terrell Taylor he had a good season last year. He had like 9 sacks, like nine sacks there. But I mean, but like we've said, like I think a lot of the issues like of players not living up their potential was just that one, we changed the scheme, like we changed our defensive scheme.
Yeah,
which means that players that might have been good in the old scheme aren't that good with this scheme. That's just not what they're used to, and so like that whole front seven changed up how they were playing, and you lose Bobby Wagner, who's probably one of the best communicators on the front seven there. He was the literal like the quarterback of that defense the year prior and the years prior. You lose him, you change up the defense scheme. It was growing pains. So players that like were used to the old scheme aren't used to this one. We weren't living up to our run defense at all, period. So if that happens, things are going to go down. But Terrell Taylor, he still somehow he was one of those shining spots in that front seven last year somehow.
Well, I know EJ was a big fan of Derek Hall, and one of the things that he talked about. Well, the Seahawks drafted Boye Mafe last year. Yeah. And he liked Hall even better than Mafe. So if they're getting him here at this spot, the thing that you like about him though, he's got the long levers.
Perfect.
Perfect. So, Yeah, I think with his speed and the type of power that he can generate, I just think that you can't have. Yeah, you have Maffei, you have Taylor, you just can't have too many of these guys. And if you're talking about wanting a guy who can rush the edge and stop the run, I think this is a guy that fits both those things. And if he can rush the passer better than Maffei, then yeah, you're getting a potential upgrade at that spot too.
Pair him with Maffei. Have them be the other end there on that defensive line for like those pass, like, you know, when you have Maffei out there, have him out there at the same time. And then, you know, if Robinson's back and healthy this year, then have Robinson on one side, Darrell Taylor on the other side, because they've been together for a while there, and just have people that know each other and communicate well with each other there, you know, and hopefully that'll mean our front seven's better.
This is a trench pick, Adam. This is a trench pick.
It is. Yeah. And they were an edge short. Like they were one edge player short, I think, to have the proper numbers to really make a very good rotation out there on the edge. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I don't know how much sack he has, Stu. We can look at his sack measurements if you'd like, and get back to you on that one.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Height, weight, arm length, 34.5-inch arms, 10-inch hand size, as if that's important. 4'5", 40. I don't see what his short shuttle was.
That's fast for a big boy.
But that's 4'5'5". Vertical of 33.5, broad jump 10.7. He did not run the 3-cone, so we don't have a sack score.
No sack scores. All right, maybe he's sackless. I don't know.
Yeah, he did get higher. So in terms of his PFF grades, pass rush grade was an 82. So high on the pass rush side, kind of middling toward the run defense side at a 61 grade. So
that's great. That's where I wanted his strengths to be.
If I would flip Maffei though, in terms of
we have one Maffei. We have one Maffei. We need more Maffeis.
If he had both, he would have gone sooner.
Well, I get that. Yeah. Can't you pick a guy whose strength is run defense rather than rushing the passer?
Yeah, if you want the guy whose strength is run defense, wait until the next round.
Or just bring Al Woods back after the draft. Just bring him back. Bring him back.
How many years until Al Woods?
He's not terrible at run defense. I'm saying he's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. 5.1% run stop rate. I don't know what that ranks out as among others, but
I don't know.
So they're big free agent signing, right? Draymond,
he had 17 run stops, which was tied for 88th. Yeah, that's not that huge.
No, he's the guy that you put in there for when they want to rush the passer, not the guy you put in there for when you want to stop the run. So this was a.
Do they want to?
I don't know.
Starting to wonder.
All right, we got Dana O'Gorman checking in. Dana.
Well, hey.
Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Hey, you look like you're doing something fancy.
Oh, just a little busy. Yes, I am lucky enough to be actually at the draft. It's a something I've been able to do the last couple of years for Archer football, and it's a lot of fun. But day 2 is always just a little calmer, so I actually have time to get on and actually do some podcasts. So thank you for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we just saw the first pick for the Seahawks of the day come off the board. Derek Hall from Auburn. Do you have any thoughts?
I'm thrilled. There was a lot of chatter that he might be gone in the first round, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the first round. And so the fact that he was still sitting there, and the reaction from Seattle supposedly when they made that call was excitement. And so you could tell it was someone that the Seattle was really interested in. And I think after yesterday, a lot of the fans were kind of waiting like, wait, where's our edge rusher? Where's the alignment? We need him, right? And so I think it's a great pick. And I think that from all I know about him, and I don't dive too deep into the draft, for individual players, but I did know about him, and I think he'll fit in well there.
Good.
Well, I'm glad you got to link up with EJ down there. He sent me your message that you got to say hi to him. So yeah. Any takeaways from the first round attending down there in Kansas City?
yesterday was chaos. And I think it was because between the reporters and everyone, I think it was chaos because no one really knew what to expect, right? We didn't know when these players were coming off. We didn't really know the plan. And then, Will Levis kept falling, and then everyone was confused about that. So there was a lot of unknown yesterday, which I think makes it a little more fun. That's just me, But I think for Seattle specifically, the Witherspoon pick at first, I was like, oh, okay. I really wanted Jalen Carter, but okay, you go ahead and take your cornerback. But now thinking about it, you have, the number one player at two positions of need, and I think it's going to turn out to be perfect. And they were really fun interviews yesterday. Witherspoon is very excited to be in Seattle. There is absolutely no question about that. So there was a great quote he was asked yesterday in our presser. They're asked him, and they said, "Have you talked to Richard Sherman yet?" He's like, "No." He goes, "Do you plan to?" He goes, "Do I plan to? It's Richard Sherman. Of course I'm going to talk to Richard Sherman." It was hilarious. And so I think that he's just really jacked to be in with a program that has such a great history at his position. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So the second pick was Njigba, obviously, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the sense that maybe Pete and John, while they say they're excited and all that and everything, that didn't feel like plan A. It seemed like they were trying real hard to get out of that spot and maybe just weren't able to find a partner.
I thought that too, to be honest with you. But then the rumor mill around here is the fact that there were quite a few teams trying to move back up into the first round. And so I don't know how much validity, maybe they were asking too much for that pick, that teams weren't just willing to give up. I wouldn't have been surprised for them to move out of that pick. I kind of expected them to. So when they didn't, first of all, I was thrilled because now they've picked in their actual spot 3 times in a row. When has that happened? Never, right?
I would have lost money making that bet for sure.
Exactly.
I thought they were getting out of 37. I thought they were just going to move down to the early to mid 40s.
Yeah, I thought so too. But then when Levis went, I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're going to hold on to it. But I don't know. It's interesting. So yeah. But I think that they knew they need someone at wide receiver. We have DK, we have Tyler. Tyler's 31, you guys. I mean, he's not going to be around forever. They need some youth. Obviously, their past couple wide receivers have not worked out as well, as we all know. But so I think that this was a smart pick by them.
Yeah, I'm happy about the pick. I think it was a need. It's just the question of how big of a need that you felt it, I think, spoke to your level of excitement on the team. And the one thing that I really do like about Jackson, though, is listening just to really with both guys in their introductory press conference, they have a feeling of the guys that the Seahawks are picking, they just all seem like good dudes, and they're finding guys that fit the culture, and that's in particular with Jackson, like to put him in the room with DK and Tyler. I think that he's going to fit in right perfectly with those guys.
I'm not going to lie though, have you seen the video the Seahawks put out of them going in and meeting DK? It felt a little awkward.
Yeah,
it felt a little, it wasn't warm and fuzzy in any way, shape, or form, which made me laugh because that's DK being, I am dominant. This is my room. But it was very funny. I think he's going to do great there too. And I was talking with some people today, and they were talking about how Jason really could have been someone that could have been strayed away. We're talking about, thank God he didn't end up with OBJ, because who would have known who he would have turned into? But we put him with someone like Tyler Lockett. He's going to learn how to work. He's going to learn how to be, straight and narrow for Seattle. So I think this is a great fit for him.
So one of our little flockers, Dana, they had a question earlier on during our stream here, and they were wondering, now, did they pass on Jalen Carter strictly because of character, or did they actually genuinely prefer Witherspoon? Do you have any sense of that?
I hope it's not the first. I spoke to Jalen Carter the day before the draft, so that would have been Wednesday, at a Play 60 event. The kid is sweet. He's just a nice kid. And you can't really just go by that gut feeling. Obviously, sometimes you're like, oh, but he's a nice guy. Of course we can't do that. But at the same time, you could tell that he was a humble kid. This is someone who I think realizes how lucky he is to still be here. You know what I mean? There didn't seem to be any arrogance about him. So I hope it's not character concern. I really hope that wasn't it. Maybe they just really felt that there was enough depth, at that position that they could get, one of those guys later. And they didn't feel that way necessarily about the cornerbacks, which, that's up for debate. But so I really hope that's not it. But I think that this is a Pete Carroll team, and Pete Carroll loves the secondary. And so it could very easily be that Pete wanted his guy.
So is there a sweet spot going forward here in the second and third, fourth, that maybe we're going to finally see that defensive tackle position addressed here? Because I'm not going to lie, on the inside, I'm freaking out a little bit. I am.
I know, right? I know. I was last night too after 20. I'm like, well, now what? What happens? Okay. And then I had to remind myself that we have, Seattle has 3 picks today. They have 2 in the second round, 1 in the third round. I think that we will see that start to go. But the only thing that makes me question it a little bit, makes me a little nervous, is that both the top centers have slid. And I know that they got a center in free agency, but do you skip on that position next? Do you know what I mean? And so I hope so. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 2 defensive players today and maybe 1 lineman. I'm not sure, but I'm with you. I'm starting to get a little nervous that they're going to miss out on these players if they don't start jumping on them pretty soon.
I mean, there's linebacker depth that you can add on to. There's running back depth that you can add on to. There's when we're starting to get into today, there are very many different areas that they could choose to address, and it's whether or not you're going to address them through the draft or through whoever's left in free agency. And
the thing of it is too, we have to remember is the meat of Seattle's draft every year is the third day, right? That's when they find these gems. And so I'm hoping that happens for them again this year. I hope that they don't go after, a running back until then. I hope, because honestly, I think the fan base would lose their mind if they picked a running back in the second round. But I think that it is, I think that I'm trying, at least me, everyone's a little different, but I think that we can't panic too much about today, knowing that they still have, all those picks tomorrow.
You can't tell Adam not to panic. He was panicking yesterday, and I tried to put off the panic to today, and we're 1 pick in, and even though they picked on the defensive line, it wasn't interior defensive line, so now he's freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just tired of getting it crammed down my throat. Like I want to be able to stop the run. I'm over it. I'm tired of the Niners.
With you.
Tired of it.
Yeah. Unless they have a plan to re-sign Puna. I mean, I don't know. There's so many. We also have to remember that, now this is nothing to guarantee anything on, but supposedly I've been told that this is they expect this to be a really deep undrafted free agent class too. And Seattle loves those guys, right? And so I would just say take some breaths, maybe a little yoga, try and calm down. They will address the position, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think for Adam, just because Hall wasn't on your radar does not mean that he was not well thought of as an edge. So,
well, I'm not mad. I said they're probably still an edge short, but this was just one of those things that it just kind of sticks in your craw. And maybe I just need to have some more patience, because I thought, maybe you disagree, Dana, but coming into this draft and this offseason, I felt like we're 2 off seasons away from being right where we need to be able to be a legit Super Bowl contender, favorite, win the division hands down. Yeah.
Probably Super Bowl contender. I would say 2 years. Yes, I agree with that. 2 solid drafts, like last year, this year, maybe 1 more. Yeah, I agree with you there. At the same time, obviously, I mean, we're just bucking for first in the division, right? Because 3rd and 4th is already decided. We know that, right? So there's nothing to be worried about there. San Francisco, they have their quarterback questions. But the thing of it is I think that they are starting to realize that these blue chip level players, and that free agency isn't scary. They had to get over that for a few years too. And so I think by the time we get through training camp, we might be a little closer than we think we are. A lot of it's going to hinge on whether or not Jamal Adams is healthy or not. And if he's healthy and ready to go, that'll be a huge boost for as long as he's on the field. God help me a whole season. But so I think we're closer than we know, because we don't ever know until the end of training camp, because these guys they get in the 5th up rounds end up being so good.
Well, who would be like one of the good interior offensive linemen? Because obviously Hutchinson met with Tippmann and kind of scouted him for the Hawks. Is there any sense of which one of either center or guard the Hawks might be leaning a little bit more towards? Because I know that's one thing. Yes, we got Everett Brown. They stated he's they see him as a center, but he's played
Mhm.
good at guard too. So
Right.
maybe is it one of like more versatile guys like a Cody Mock that could play more positions, or see if Avila's already gone, or is it, or look more for like those, like, you know,
True
stereotypical like,
centers.
true centers or true guards
Mhm.
like an Osiris Torrance or
Oh.
RJMS, like who.
Look at me.
We got
I
a,
get
we got a
happy
little
with every
reaction
name.
from Torrance.
I know. I
Yeah.
love Osiris Torrance. I
He's good.
love him. I wouldn't mind
He's
him being a
good.
Seahawk in a minute. And
Yeah.
to be honest with you, the top two centers I'd be great with too.
Yeah.
You know, I call him John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, but we know that's not his name. But
Yep.
and
Hey,
then
copyright violation. I thought I
know,
coined that.
right?
No,
first.
I think Dana beat you to it, actually, Adam.
I did,
Darn it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
There
Don't
we
sue
go.
me. Yeah.
I will not.
Yeah.
But and even Whippler out of Wisconsin. I mean, that's fine, right? Like they're both solid centers. I think though, I don't know. At least me as a fan is not necessarily appropriate, but a fan. I'm tired of the Swiss Army knifeness of it all. I want them to get someone who's set in their position. That's what they play. That's what they're good at. And
Yeah.
so that we don't have to constantly worry, where are they going to shove him over? Are they going to move Abe over? Are they going to do this, that, or the other? Osiris Torrance is high on my list, though. I will say that for sure.
Nice. He'd be fun to have him there, and then have Brown in the center, because like that would just be a young group of offensive linemen. Like no one's really that old. It would just be a young
Not
group
so beat
there.
up.
And it's like that could be the group without missing a beat for like the next 5 years easily.
5+ years easily.
Oh yeah.
You guys, I'm so sorry. I've got to get back to the room, but
Yeah,
I wanted
thanks
to
for
hop
checking
on.
in.
And thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for having me.
All right, go Hawks, Dana.
All right, Guy, go Hawks.
All right. Thanks to Dana for checking in. And the Cardinals, they go to the same position that the Seahawks just picked a few picks earlier. So it's good to know that we got the better of the two. And Samuel already pointing out that the Cards got the defensive end that likes getting run over. So,
Well,
yeah.
huzzah. Yeah.
we can, send the voodoo vibes toward Avila in LA and Ojolari in Arizona.
All right. So here's something that's fun. The Russell Wilson trade is now officially done. Like, so this is the net of what came out of that. So the Broncos got obviously Russ and a guy named Iomia Uwazuriki. Sure. That close enough. A fourth rounder.
You nailed the name, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, I just nailed it. D lineman. I'm not sure he's done a whole heck of a lot.
So Russ and a D lineman in the, what was it, a fourth rounder?
It was a 4th rounder, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep, and a 4th rounder. So we got the players that we ended up out of this: Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Tyreek Smith, Witherspoon, and Hall.
Just a few. Just a few.
Just
dudes.
a few. There's
Yeah.
one of those that are not a player on this team now. Just one, and that's Harris.
Yeah, Shelby Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got the defensive this year in the free agency. We got the defensive lineman that they originally wanted in that trade. So yes, Shelby Harris not on team, but like you just switch that into the guy that they wanted, and I think we officially won that trade hands down. You could just nail that coffin right now, just right in stone.
I mean, we won the trade just by starting Geno over Russ last year.
Right.
And not giving
and
Russ
what
that
a game.
massive extension.
So Luke
Yeah.
Musgrave, as Amy pointed out, coming off the board. Another tight end, this one from Oregon State. So Mayer falling down the board.
I liked Musgrave. I
Yeah.
liked him. So I'm a little sad to see him go, but I hope he does well there though, because he was a fun guy to watch there in the back.
Little help for Jordan Love. They went edge with
Yeah.
Vanessa in the first. So yeah, that's some sensical drafting that the Packers always seem to do.
Oh,
The
yeah, we were
tight
talking
ends
about
of-
tight end for the Packers in the first round, weren't we?
Yeah.
Tight end's a rookie is like a young quarterback's best friend. So I mean, Jordan Love, he's not necessarily a rookie, but get him a tight end that's solid and can catch passes and defend for him. It'll just help out Love even more.
All right, Jets got
Man,
their
go back
pick
to the
coming
Hall
in
pick.
already.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Do they really? That's amazing. I like this. It's clicking right along.
Yeah. Wait,
Is our
you said
next
go
one's
back
at
to the
what number?
at 52. So yeah, we're just under 10 picks away from the next pick.
All right. Running back. That's what it'll be.
Roshan Johnson.
I would love that. It honestly,
Yeah, it'd be
when we
good.
talk about the hierarchy of needs on this team, I believe RB2 is so you got what we would say defensive tackle, guard, RB2. That it would be the third for me, because it's so hard for these guys to stay healthy. And let's take a little of the load off K9 so that we don't wear him out, and have that 1-2 punch, and have a guy that's more of a thumper between the guards,
Yeah. Tank Bigsby. Get a guy named. Can you think of a better running back name?
Max
for
Strong.
a thumper than Tank.
Max Strong, how dare you?
I don't think
I mean,
Tank
true.
is. I thought that was the part of the joke, right? Is that Tank was like a little bit undersized for running
Yeah,
back?
it's like calling a huge guy tiny.
The Jets took Titman,
the
that's
name-
the first real big center off the board. Jets took Titman.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yep.
I think ESPN just kicked me off the draft and is maybe sending me to Golden State for the Warriors game.
You want to watch basketball, which is probably
Brittany
the
does.
AI taking over your life. That's true. Brittany watching the Warriors makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's a huge Warriors fan. Now I'm trying to translate her investment into the players emotionally on the Warriors into the Seahawks, right? Like trying to get her into the personalities and stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
The game doesn't speak to her.
I'm more interested in seeing how the Kraken do tonight, because they could knock off the last year's champions right here and continue on to playoffs.
I'll see Vieth helping you out. The draft moved over to ABC off of ESPN.
Got it. Thanks, man. Yeah. I'm back in the game.
So we could see a run on centers here, possibly. It's kind of what Amy's thinking here.
Could be.
Titman off the board. This is when they start to go. People
panic and start hitting the panic button and start getting all the interior offensive linemen right.
Well, the Colts, they need to make sure and protect Richardson long term, right?
Right. He's like, I mean, Richardson, he could be, his play style is more so that Vic Jackson play style there, so he's going to need a solid O-line there to keep him, make sure like they open lanes for him to run and keep him upright when he decides to throw.
No, you don't need a center with that when you just take the snap and then you bounce it outside of the pocket and
throw it in the dirt.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh yeah, we got Kraken on too. Is it game 6 tonight?
It's game 6 tonight. Yeah. So I think my stepbrother, my stepsister, and my stepdad all have season tickets together for the game. So I think my stepbrother Joel is going to be there tonight. That's cool. So we'll see. I hope they win tonight, because the Avalanche were last year's champs.
That's Kroenke's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw
We
those
can't have
guys.
that again. Yeah.
No, we gotta. If the Kraken can beat them tonight, this is only their second year of existence. Beat the defending champs. Your second year of existence. That's a big deal.
Is this a closeout game for them? Game 6 here?
This is the last one for this part of the playoffs. So.
And this is their first series in the playoffs. So yeah, if they can win their first playoff series, it's
impressive.
Big deal for the Kraken.
Yeah.
You got an Olympic hockey player as your goalie. So Grubauer.
Ruckman Drums wants to know more about Hall. Hey, have you said much about him here, Josh? Or did you not watch a ton of him?
I don't know too much about him, but I mean, if I can get my iPad here, I might be able to look up some more information about him and see like his stats and stuff from college, because that's where I kind of like to see, I like to go to like ESPN and see like how did they play in college, like what stats were their biggest things in college, because if he and I saw someone had said that he was a good run defender on the outside. So I mean, if he was a good run defender on the outside and not necessarily on the inside, hopefully we get a guy like Benton, who can really kind of stop the run in the middle, or bring back Puna and Al Woods, or all three. bring back, like draft Benton and bring back Puna and Al Woods, have
Collect
that
them all.
really good. Yeah. And have those guys in there and have Hall stay out there on the outside, stopping the run and rushing the passer. That would be great.
The thing about the Hall pick, it kind of seems to me, just as I'm working my way through it, it feels like with Darrell Taylor getting more toward the end, like this allows you to fill in with that guy who has that quick step off the edge. But as we saw with Darrell Taylor, he just is not a plus run defender. And it seems like with Hall too, he was very consistent through college. He didn't really have that kind of step up and building throughout the season. And there's that concern that he might not have the upside to be a consistent run stopper, but is good. He can be good. And see, that's the thing. If you're talking about Taylor, like he's not good at the run, Hall can be good and also have that 10 sack ability that Darrell Taylor has. So
if anyone can bring out more of that in a player, Clint Hurt is not a back, is a good coach. Like, and his specialty was defensive line. So if anyone,
Brandon Jordan now, really Brandon Jordan, don't forget about him.
Oh yeah, exactly. So like you bring those guys in to really kind of help them out with that. And was it Will Tukuafu is one of our assistant D-line coaches there. So I mean, you got
he could still play fullback.
Oh, I bet he could. just give it to the big, just give the rock to the big small guy that's a defensive tackle playing fullback and just go. Just run. I dare people to stop him.
Yeah. I definitely feel better about the Hall pick after talking with Dana, and just her excitement of, hey, there was a lot of buzz that he was a first round talent. And it does stick with their overall philosophy here. It's like, let's just get as many studs as we can and we'll fit them in. We'll figure that part out. And I mean, if Hall can be one more dude in that rotation to keep everybody fresh, because I feel like Nwosu kind of wore down a little bit over the year because we relied on him so heavily for everything that he does, because he's such a well-rounded edge player that maybe somebody like Hall can spell him a little bit and keep that pass rush fresh. And especially going down the stretch, that's what you need.
Randy Horner saying, why do you all seem comfortable bringing back defensive tackles that weren't good last season? I guess the only one that I'm semi-comfortable with bringing back would be Puna if the price is right in terms of signing him. But that's a guy that I think that they'll wait on and see what other teams think about him, because they tried paying him the top shelf defensive tackle money, and I don't think we saw the production last year necessarily. Now, just because Puna had a down year last year doesn't mean that he's on a downward trend in terms of his NFL career.
Yeah, and there's two things on Puna and bringing him back possibly. One, Pete said earlier on this offseason that the reason for Puna's down year was the Seahawks. They asked him to do things he's not great at. They put him in positions that weren't his best, and they really felt like the scheme change hurt him the most. Now, if they really are going back to the scheme, as Sherman says, right, then maybe Puna could do a little bit better here this next year. But the problem is that they're right up against the cap effectively, supposedly. And so the idea of bringing in more guys after the draft, I don't think it's going to be a mad rush. I don't think it's going to be more than maybe two.
So let's see here. Yeah. So for him, he had 41 solo tackles last season, 19 assisted tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 6.5 sacks, 1 interception for 19 yards. So, I mean, those are some solid stats for him last year, which doesn't shock me if he was being seen as a potential first round grade. You have a guy that can literally do just about everything.
Yeah, and I think the plus thing about Hall is that he did it consistently through college. He wasn't, you look at a lot of these guys, especially guys who went in round 1, they were guys who they really showed off their final year in college. And Tyree Wilson was one of those guys. And so you go, well, is this just a 1-year thing for Tyree? And is he or is it going to continue that trajectory upward, or was it a flash in the pan type thing? And I think with Hall in the second round, you lose that, really high end, trajectory. Like, could he be a superstar type guy? And maybe even with Hall, you can develop into one. But I like the idea of taking a guy that just has that college consistency.
Yeah, he went from 3.5 sacks and 21 total tackles in 2020, 52 total tackles in 2020, and 9 sacks, and then 60 total tackles in 2022 and 6 of excess. So there was some gradual growth there. Like, his big jump was really from actually 2020 to 2021. That was his biggest jump there. His first year, he only had 13 total tackles, but he didn't play as many games. But then you see that the Auburn started trusting him more and more. So like 2020, he had 21 total tackles, 52 in 2021, and then 60 in 2022. They started trusting him more. He started getting more comfortable. He started learning more and started developing more. So, that just shows like, he's consistently growing. So should he get up with, Seattle, who's had good defensive linemen play, and then you have Clint Hurt, who he's the defensive coordinator, and his specialty is D-line. It's a good spot for him.
Garen's asking tackles for a loss. I don't have TFL numbers, but I do have run stops. He was only 88th in college last year in terms of run stops, but he was 14th in quarterback hits. So a guy consistently around the quarterback. He was 36th in hurries, 31st in sacks. And so when you're talking about, the 100, so he's 260th in batted passes because he had 0. So that shows you where the rank is from 1 to 260. And he was 14th in quarterback hits, 36th in hurries, 31st in sacks. So, yeah, right in top 30, top 40.
I need to know here with Kano's comment here. Builds trucks. Is this a euphemism, or does he literally restore vehicles? Like, if that's the case, that's pretty cool. Mad respect there.
Tackles for loss, 11.5 in 2022. So those were his tackles for loss. Tackles for loss was 11.5. He had 12.5 in 2021. All
right, that's about 1 a game for college.
Yeah, that's still solid.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Jesse in the chat had 11.5. Demo's taken over for Amy, who had to take off. Lions take Brian Branch from Alabama. So
they're having a banger draft, man. I know a lot of people are mad at him about the running back pick and all that. I do think that works for them. Especially when they seemingly have 49 picks in this draft. Every time I look up, they're on the clock.
Yeah, well, they traded back when we took Witherspoon. So I think that this was their guy to fill that corner role that maybe they saw for Witherspoon.
Swiss Army, man.
Yeah,
you bet.
And then they wait and they get a pretty solid guy who was projected as a potential top 20 pick in the first round with Brian Branch. And so here he is at pick 45 overall. Patriots up on the clock next. And let's see, who do we got? We got Patriots, Commanders, Packers, Steelers, Bucks, Dolphins. So 6 teams now ahead of the Seahawks in pick 52.
There we go. The wife brought me my iPad so I can finally start actually watching stuff, because we don't have cable here. So and I mistakenly forgot to bring my iPad in before we started all this. I'm like, hey, honey, bring my iPad so I can watch the draft here.
You can't, Garen, you can't compare Jalen Carter, who played on the interior, versus a kind of.
I mean, he can. He just did it. Garen did it.
They're both numbers, and you can compare them.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
But so lay out that order again real quick. It was Patriots,
Commanders,
Packers, Dolphins.
Dolphins are right before us. You got Steelers, Bucks, Dolphins.
I'd say Steelers are probably the most likely to go D tackle out of those picks.
Yeah,
if you're hoping Benton's still there when you get to 52. Or do they package and move up and get ahead of them? Who knows?
Why don't we go ahead and I'm gonna look at the D tackle prospects at this point. Yeah, Benton on the board, Zach Pickens, South Carolina, Ika from Baylor, still there.
Yeah.
Those are probably all three guys kind of in the similar range.
Yeah. Benton, I think, is the most Seahawky really out of all of them. Like how he plays in his college tape. He's more so he's fast. He's really fast for a guy that size, and he's very versatile. He almost kind of reminds me of that. He's not really a nose tackle, but he kind of reminds me of like if Michael Bennett played defensive tackle. He reminds me of that type of player. So he'd be a guy that I would really like to see come to the Seahawks if we do go tackle. He's, and I know that'd make Clinton happy. He asked me on Twitter one time, he's like, of these two guys, like who do you think the Seahawks would play? Would pick up. I'm like, honestly, probably. I think he asked it was Muzzy Smith or Benton, and I'm like, honestly, I think Benton fits more of the mold of like a Seahawks defensive tackle player. If we wanted to go nose tackle, I'm really not really sure which guy would be really more of the nose tackle guy to be picking a guy from. Maybe one of those. Is it Ojomo? I think Ojomo is the Texas guy who is a defensive tackle. I think but you can pick him up in like the.
Oh yeah, he was a little bit farther down the board. Yeah,
I think fourth or fifth round you could pick him up.
Right,
and he would still be there, but he would be more so that later round.
Yeah, Byron Young kind of in that same range
exactly.
Out of Alabama.
To just put him like right there and just have him fill up that space and just be like, look at that running back and be like, bring it on. try to run past me. Like that big guy you want to fill that void. Like he would be that type of guy.
So Sebastian Vollmer is on the screen here announcing the pick for the Patriots. Now you're looking at him right now. Tell me he couldn't be a Kelsey brother.
Right.
He does kind of have that look to him, doesn't he?
Keon White to the Patriots.
Okay. Corner and DN. So the two most accomplished, smartest coaches in the league, corner and a DN in this draft.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, those are and both very defensive minded coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That will be interesting. Keon White to the Patriots. You know what? That's a Belichick pick. That's a very Belichickian. Like, I want someone who like really get after the other guy's quarterback and put pressure on them, especially all the young bucks in the AFC. Like, I want someone to go after those young quarterbacks in the AFC. That's a Bill Belichick pick right there.
Aaron Rodgers isn't happy.
No, Aaron Rodgers is pissed right now with that pick. He's like, you know what? I was 90% retired. I might be 100% retired.
93. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me can I back out now? No. Well, I'll give you 1 year because I don't want to deal with this for 5.
Sam saying, I think it's funny that whenever former Patriots are introduced and they only won 1 Super Bowl because Belichick got rid of them the next year.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to beg on him, man. Like,
it is.
You get 6 in the bank, you can kind of do whatever you want. So,
oh yeah. And as a player, how can you be mad? As a former player, it's like, hey, I wanted a championship with Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, put that on your resume. That very, very few actual people can actually.
All right, we got London Fletcher. This is we're getting into the legends. I think KJ Wright's supposed to be announcing for the Seahawks.
Yeah. So the Commanders, they seem to pick kind of crazily here. Like, so Josh, your mom, is she available? Is that who they're going with?
Jartavius Martin.
My mother's Mary Poppins. She's not a cornerback. Okay. So
okay. All right. Well,
it's
this is Witherspoon's teammate, isn't it?
It is. I believe so. Yeah. And I mean, good good on them for getting a corner, but not the need I was thinking for them. No,
Safety in a corner.
A quarter, safety in a corner. Not really the need that I was thinking for them, but I mean, I guess they must really have faith in their quarterback, I guess.
Yeah, Sam Howell. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck
I
with
was
that.
thinking I was honestly thinking that would potentially be the place where Hendon Hooker gets drafted. But I guess not. Oh, yeah. I just we'll see. Honestly, I thought they would probably either go quarterback or beef up their O-line, not cornerback.
I could see them a lot like with the Falcons, just trying to roll with the quarterback they drafted for a year, and then building up their team in other ways. Yeah, the Bucks got their pick in. Then it's the Steelers.
Yeah, this is Hooker.
Oh, so the Bucks, did they swap out with the Packers? Because
They
Packers
did.
were okay.
It looks like the Bucks are in it, and if so, I bet that's potentially Hooker there.
Why would they need to jump ahead of the Steelers, though?
I don't,
because they don't believe in Kenny Pickett. Give me a break.
the local kid who learned college ball in the same stadium as
yeah. It still is I don't know, the 27th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. Cameron Young from Mississippi State is a later nose tackle. I think they like. You know what? That would be a good one for a later round one. If we wait for a defensive tackle to the later rounds because we're looking for more of a nose tackle as a defensive tackle, I could see that.
Yeah, and you find starters in the 3rd and 4th round when you're looking at nose because they just aren't valued picks.
Why did you trade up for Cody? I mean, good for Cody Mock, but why do you trade up for Cody Mock? Did they think that this? You know what, Cody Mock would be?
He could have gone to the Steelers. I could see that.
That's why.
Yeah,
that's why they traded up. Okay, I see. You know what? I get it now. That makes sense.
Mock not excited, and I think I can understand. I mean, he's a northern boy, and now he's got to head down to South Florida.
Ouch. No, he does not fit that culture at all.
Let alone the humidity and the heat, right? Like
he can live in North Florida and commute to Tampa.
It's so much better. I spent a few weeks of a summer in Pensacola doing a job, and that is the hottest I've ever been in my life. No, thank you.
No. I thought you were just talking about like the type of dudes that he would fit in with.
No.
I'm talking just straight up weather, man.
No, it is. Cody Moss is going to go hang out with the superhero America never asked for, Florida man.
Yeah, I was going to say Cody Mock could easily be the picture in a story that's entitled "Florida Man," plays guard for the Bucks.
Yeah, it's fine.
I love it. I'm a big fan of Cody Mock. I think he's.
I hope he has a great career. I really, really do.
He didn't know yet. Now he's happy.
Yeah. Now he's happy. Okay. Oh, jeez.
And a ginger down in that sun? Woof.
SBF 100, 24/7, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So this is maybe a move. Yeah, they would take Wirfs, move him over to the left side, and then maybe start Mock at tackle. Or are we thinking
Mock
potentially at guard there?
Mock was college-wise, I believe, more so a tackle, but he can easily play either guard or center. So it's really up to like what they want to do with him. He is the Swiss Army knife. He's that big guy you just put there and be like, all right, I want you just to pancake people, just pancake the person in front of you, and he even if he's lighter than them, he will find a way. So,
well, shoot, I thought that the Packers swapped with the Bucks, but it looks like the Bucks are now back on the clock at 50
right now. Oh, I don't know, because I've got the ESPN stream, the Steelers pick is in at 49, and they still have Green Bay at 50.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
NFL.com hasn't updated their tracker because they have the Bucks on the clock again, so that makes sense.
Okay,
that will be interesting to see.
Steelers weren't effing around either, man. They made that pick in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
They ran. That's what we talk about. Our favorite off-season draft jargon that we hear every year. My favorite this year was, oh, that guy's on the board. You run the card up to the podium.
Right.
Like everybody's been saying that one this year.
Right.
Yeah, this is the part of the draft where the picks on Twitter are coming in faster than the TV show can really keep up with them. And so also NFL.com having a hard time with showing who's on the clock with the pick in. And yeah, chat already posting spoilers, I think. So
okay. All right.
Yep. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Shout out to
TV.
Sam with the How to Train a Dragon reference. I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm here for this part of the draft, folks, is just comments on who's presenting, just shots at other teams. Because yeah, I don't know.
This will be
if it's on Twitter.
Exactly.
Unless it's the draft pick that is being announced by the draft guy who's in the room with them, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they just know.
I'm just stunned Twitter's still here. I thought it was supposed to be gone by now. So
yeah.
The demo's saying that the picks have been made all the way up to the Seahawks being on the clock now. Oh
my gosh.
No, so
okay.
saying that we moved up.
Oh, we moved. All right, then who are we gonna get?
Yeah, and who do we have
Feels
to get
Bentony.
ahead of?
So we must have traded with. So we either traded
With the
So did we
Packers
have
or the
up-
Dolphins.
Packers or Dolphins. So who would we want that's still on the board right now that we would trade up for? So we've talked about Benton. We talked about John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmitz. We talked about Torrance.
I think anyone hoping for Benton
Yeah.
is going to
Yep.
Yeah.
That dream be done.
Oh yeah. So Benton's not there, so it's
Benton not there now. He's going to the Steelers.
Clinton's.
I
gonna
figured that's where the Steelers would go.
Yeah, Clinton's gonna be sad. He's gonna be
Very
sad.
very fitting for their name.
I'm sad.
Yeah, I'm sad. I am sad. I wanted him.
Yeah, he would have been. But hey, we got Draymond Jones. Remember?
Yeah, not a run defender.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the big problem is everybody's like, well, we signed Draymond. That was the big offseason edition. Well, cool, but his forte is getting after the quarterback. It's definitely not stopping the run. And that's the thing that has me so just twisted up about this.
Yeah.
So we could go linebacker. Henley
Hooray.
and Trenton Simpson. Both Henley and Trenton Simpson are still available.
Sure. How are they when the offensive line blows through the first level and then has three bodies on them? Any of them can they take care of that?
Henley, I think Henley definitely could. He's some people's number one linebacker. Like this draft this year. Most people's number one linebacker was Simpson. So those were like two of the bigger names there. And then there's also Sewell, who he's from Oregon, and he was touted as the strongest linebacker in this draft class, like just pure power. And he's a big old Simone guy. Like he's one of those guys who I could easily just do reverse bench 500 pounds and just pump it out.
Kind of like a Devontae Hightower. Just kind of a massive, slow linebacker, but makes big plays.
And as he ages, he just becomes more and more like James Harrison. Just
right.
It's bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. Like I could see him become that type of guy. So
we didn't move up. I think Sojin is confused here with we moved up because now the Dolphins are on the clock. Jaden Reed, wide receiver from Michigan State, goes to the Packers. They take another receiver.
So they're basically just flipping off
yes
Rodgers right now.
This is a
Tight
full-on
end,
spike draft at this point. Yeah.
They're just flipping off Aaron Rodgers right now. They're like, No, you know what? We're gonna give Love all of the weapons. You can just
wait till next year when they take that one that they get for Rodgers when he plays 65% of the snaps and they draft a receiver at like 15.
Right.
In terms of his run defense grade, Benton was not very high. I think he's ranked similarly as. I think if you want a better run defender, then Ika would be the guy from Baylor.
Ika could be the run defender. So
who's presenting for the Dolphins here? Who is this? Oh, Terran Armstead. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He wears his sunglasses at night.
Okay, Bono.
Yeah.
Jeebus. Okay, Bum Kandana says the Seahawks are reportedly getting a running back. So which running back would we choose here?
Now,
like
is
Charbonnet?
Bob trolling because he knows that he's presenting to Seahawks Twitter? But Charbonnet would be the guy for me.
All right.
Roshan Johnson for me.
If it's this early, I would think Roshan would be the guy I would want. But like any of the top, who are the top guys right now for running back?
Whoever's not Bijan, is that who we're talking about?
Pretty much.
All the guys who aren't Bijan?
Cam Smith went to the Dolphins at corner.
Okay.
So we still got.
I like the highlight of Cam Smith showing Anthony Richardson throwing just a god-awful pick.
So Zach Evans from Mississippi is still available. Israel Abanikanda from Pittsburgh still available. And Devin Achane is still available. Those are like the top 3 available best prospects at running back according to NFL.com. But yeah, no, I would like to see
Tajay Spears, another running back.
How can the pick be in already for the Seahawks? KJ is just strolling to the stage here.
Right.
Looks sharp. That's a sharp suit. He's a handsome man anyways.
Dwayne McBride or Tank Bisbee would be fun. I like both of those guys, but we'll see.
Okay.
I'm not sure who we're going to get.
God, I love KJ. I miss him so much.
KJ wanted us to pick Witherspoon with our first pick.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. I just got it on my phone.
Well, I want to hear KJ say it.
Well,
I'm going to watch
KJ?
him say it on mute. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Charbonnet.
Here it is. See?
Okay. I
That's
actually didn't
Charbonnet.
watch much Charbonnet, so I don't have big feelings one way or the other, but it's a need. It's a need. But again, the number one need is still on the board. So
I know that EJ is going to be fired up because Charbonnet was one of his favorite. He loves running backs, and he picked the Ken Walker pick to the Seahawks last year.
okay.
And when I said, okay, yeah, Bijan not an option. Like, who's your guy for the Seahawks? He said, Zachary Charbonnet. Yeah.
So he is a he's a talented third down back and both as a blocker and a pass catcher. So that's the type of guy that we need. And he's a big guy. He's 6 foot 214.
How is he running the give up play?
we need somebody to take over for Homer at the
I was gonna say just the way that Josh just described it, I was like, wow, that sounds a lot like Travis Homer right there.
Right. He was viewed as a day 2 value with three down potential.
You're gonna like him in terms of yards after contact guy too, because he takes legit contact and keeps moving. He was in just last year, he had 806 yards after contact, which was good for 13th in college.
Okay.
And it wasn't Rashad Penny yards after contact. It was
they were man yards,
getting bounced. Yeah. But also a breakaway guy too, because he was, in terms of like the big play 15 plus yard runs, he was 5th in the NFL. So I think in terms of filling the need with Penny being gone, getting that second guy, it's
Steady Eddie. It sounds like
he's like an AJ Dillon. So he's like a guy who's he's not gonna be your number one, but he's gonna be a very solid number two.
Is he a power back like AJ Dillon?
Yeah, he's a power back. That his NFL comparison is AJ Dillon. So he's that big, compact, big guy who can catch the ball, and he builds momentum as he goes. So if you get a couple guys there, third down to like your tight ends to kind of like block for him and starts building, a few years down the line, he's gone. He's that locomotive. Just give him a few yards to build up that speed and momentum, and he's not afraid to hit guys.
Just looking at my notes too, this was EJ's second guy behind. So he actually had him ahead of the Alabama running back.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, looking at the notes here from the PFF draft guide, Charbonnet routinely does what it takes to avoid going to the ground. Stiff arms, dead legs, shimmies, you name it. Charbonnet probably has it mastered in his arsenal.
Okay. I like it. Polish coming right out of college. You can get that 4 years out of him and then let the next team pay him.
Yeah, there we go. Now that's a solid pick. Now hopefully we can finally get one of our trench guys here in the third round. Oh, jeez. At least
I wonder if Carly's having...
Give me a linebacker at the very least, guys.
Yeah. I wonder if Carly's dad is suffering from a severe case of DT FOMO like I am. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on.
If you just want a run-stopping defensive tackle, like you don't even start looking until the third round.
I want it, Brandon. I want it now. I'm an impatient American. Okay. I want Prime to deliver me a run-stuffing DT like yesterday.
Right. Honestly, my big thing is like, can we just get like some interior linemen, like just one of them, just to help out there, like who could compete or be the person you start in front of, have the other guard there, or compete with Evan Brown to be the center, and if he's not the center, he's the guard. Like give me anyone, just one of those guys, because like Brandon said, we can get that. If you want a run-stopping defensive tackle, that's very easily, you can get that in the 4th or 5th round. But if we wanted like a guy that is more of a versatile, like he can stop the run and still get after like the quarterback, you would have picked it. You probably would have picked him by now. And that's apparently not where the Hawks are going. So if we're going just purely, nose tackle, all right, let's stop the run guy. Go for go for one of those guys there in the 4th or 5th round, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Adam. I wanted a defensive tackle within the first 2 rounds, but you apparently not Pete and John.
Yeah, I could see the argument more for guard at this spot over running back, like that. If with Torrance still on the board, like that seems like a bigger need at filling in somebody at guard versus getting that second running back. But
so Keandre Coburn, Byron Young, Carl Brooks, Moro Jomo, DJ Dale, like those are like 5 names of like guys you can get in that 5th or 6th round that you just big bodies, you put them there and you're like, all right, stop the run. Yeah, we can still get Ika in the 3rd round if he's still there. Or we move back into the 2nd and pick him, but I'm betting that we don't move up for a guy at this point. But who knows? John's the most unpredictable GM mastermind in the league right now, so we'll see. His NFL comparisons Danny Shelton.
Jeremy Dexter out of Florida goes to the Bears here. Chargers on the clock next.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got what, like 30 odd some picks before?
Yep, pretty much.
Are we really hanging in there till the 3rd round pick? Was that the idea?
It's a good point. We could probably hop back on later on after because Then we've got what 83 is the next pick. So unless they trade up, and we got we got a little ways to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that they trade up at this point. I mean, if we wanted to come back here and at the start of round 3 and kind of see how things go, we totally could.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. We'll take a little bit of a dinner break and hop back on. Then once the Seahawks get closer, we can recap what we've seen here over the last hour or so. Probably by the time that we jump back on.
Yeah,
you can watch some Charbonnet, and some Warriors basketball.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do the Kraken? Do they tip off yet?
Yeah, they should be starting here fairly soon. I'll probably keep an eye on to see how the Kraken are doing.
There you go.
I think they face off, not tip it off. Yeah,
they tip it.
I'm not a hockey guy, but
they're going to start doing the tip.
That's exciting. I want to see guys.
It's a new thing for the playoffs.
That would be quite
if you want to see something cool, look up on YouTube like the intro for the Kraken, like getting the players come out there.
Oh yeah,
where they actually do the tip off.
They actually do tip off. Like they have this whole thing where like they show like the ocean and they do like the release the Kraken and have like the big tentacles come out and like and they have like a very like nautical like blowhorn of like the ocean of the ship, and it's actually very cool.
Tupac arises from the grave.
Tupac comes out of the grave with Elvis. They start going at it.
Wow. They nailed it with this Kraken thing though. Like when they chose the name, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was my first choice, but like having gone to a couple games now and really kind of starting to follow them, it makes more and more sense. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah.
All right, and we can stew over this question. No interior offensive line or defensive interior. Yeah, look. Go watch some highlights of Charbonnet.
Yeah,
and hopefully I won't feel so icky on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right.
We'll be back here at the top of the third.
Yeah, we'll shoot for about an hour, everybody. If you want to jump back on, and we'll talk a little bit more Seahawks coming up here in a little bit. And until then, there's only one thing left to say.
Oh, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!